Like their Formula One counterparts, the construction of Indy cars is regulated by strict rules concerning structural strength and crash resistance. They may appear similar, but Indy cars are heavier due mainly to the strength of construction, which enables them to withstand high-speed impacts on ovals and super speedways. Incredibly, the wall came off worst in this accident. The driver escaped unharmed. Only manual gearboxes are allowed. Formula One type automated gear changes and traction control devices are not permitted. Indy cars use steel brake discs on road and street circuits and short ovals. Carbon discs can only be used for the 500-mile super speedway races. Suspension systems on Indy cars are similar to those used in Formula One, but active suspension and ride height adjusting systems are not allowed. Tyres are supplied exclusively by Goodyear. The wheel diameter is fixed at 15 inches, with the tyres typically 14 inches wide at the rear and 10 inches wide at the front. And 7 sets are allowed for a 200-mile race weekend, increasing to 11 sets for a 500-mile event. On short ovals, road courses and street circuits, the cars run with Formula One type high downforce wings. On super speedways, narrow, low drag wings are used. All IndyCar engines are turbocharged and are either purpose-built pure racing engines with a maximum capacity of 2650 cc or production-derived stock block engines with a maximum capacity of 3430 cc. The amount of turbocharger boost pressure allowed is different for each type of engine. Pure racing engines like the Cosworth Ford or Ilmore Chevrolet are allowed 45 inches of boost, while a stock block Buick can operate with 50 inches. Turbocharger boost is regulated by the blow-off or pop-off valve. This is a spring-loaded mechanism mounted on the inlet manifold of the engine, which is set to open and bleed off boost pressure if its preset limit is exceeded. In terms of engine power, the IndyCar engine produces a maximum of around 800 brake horsepower against the 750 brake horsepower of the naturally aspirated Formula One engine. An IndyCar is thus potentially faster in a straight line than its Formula One cousin. But because of its lower weight, a Formula One car is more nimble and therefore quicker round tight corners than the Indy car. A match race between an Indy car and a Formula One car would be a fascinating contest. Indy cars run on methanol, a renewable source, non-fossil fuel made from waste materials and is therefore considered to be environmentally friendlier than gasoline. The fuel capacity of an Indy car is 40 gallons, carried in a puncture-resistant fuel cell contained between the cockpit and the engine. A fuel allowance is calculated for each race on the basis of a 1.8 miles per gallon consumption rate. As there's no limit on the number of pit stops permitted during a race, a team can manage the fuel allowance as it sees fit. But due to the time lost stopping in the pits and restarting, the teams usually try to make as few stops as possible. A fast refueling stop late in the race, a splash and dash, is sometimes used as a tactical ploy by teams. Despite careful calculation, fuel strategies can go wrong, as Michael Andretti discovered at Elkhart Lake in 1989. Andretti seemed to have victory in the bag when Danny Sullivan made a splash and dash stop in the final laps of the race. Michael, having used his full allowance of fuel, was obliged to run to the finish without a final stop. As his tank ran dry on the last lap, he was passed by Sullivan. Andretti's crew could only watch in dismay as Sullivan won the race, and Michael was left stranded. Refueling is usually not a hazardous procedure, but on rare occasions something does go wrong. If a fuel fire does occur, methanol has a hidden danger. It burns invisibly. In this footage of Al Unser Jr.'s disastrous pit stop at Cleveland in 1990, Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Unlike a petrol fire, water can be used to extinguish the burning methanol. IndyCar racing is statistically no more dangerous than any other type of motorsport. In the event of an accident, a dedicated rescue crew, which travels to each round of the IndyCar Championship, is usually on the scene within seconds and sometimes even before the accident is over, as in the case of Emerson Fittipaldi at Michigan in 1991. High-speed accidents on ovals and superspeedways require specialist knowledge and expertise from the rescue crews. A travelling medical centre is present at each race, staffed by a permanent team of doctors with expert knowledge of the type of injuries that sadly do occur in motor racing. This travelling hospital is equipped with the latest technology, ensuring that the best possible care is on hand in the event of an accident.